Good morning, welcome back to the program. We have a very special guest coming up here, but first a big thanks to Grand Mountain Bank and all they do for our morning show here. They're your hometown bank, 4 locations here in Grand County. Check those guys out. They're locally owned and operated, and we're very proud of them for that. GrandMountainBank.com, check them out. My next guest is Kris Manguso, and you are the commish. You're the county commissioner, one of 3 here in Grand County. What's your district? Let's just start right there.
District 3.
So District 3 is what?
It includes Kremling, Hot Sulphur, the west side of Highway 34.
Okay, so everything from the road that takes you to Grand Lake, heading to Kremling.
That's correct.
All right, it's a pretty big district landmass-wise, and you got a lot of personalities going on in there. So is west, does that include Grand Lake then?
No.
Okay, so
Town
Grand
of
Lake
Grand
stays.
Lake is District 2.
I got you. Okay. So what makes one want to be a Grand County Commissioner? What happened here?
Yeah, what did happen? Well, I worked for the county before that. I was planning director since 2007, and I worked for the county. I really enjoyed it, and I thought, if you want to make some changes, you want to try and be proactive.
Yeah.
You got to get involved. So I ran for office.
Just chirping and there's doing, and you're doing. So you're born and raised Kremling?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm born and raised in Littleton.
Littleton.
I am a Colorado native.
So you're Coloradan, and you represent Kremling, and there is a very diverse set of population up here for both purpose of living here. Kremling is a lot more ranch spacious. What goes on in Kremling? What's different about Kremling than the Winter Park side here?
Oh, I think it's more of a workers. The real estate is less.
Generational. There's a lot of people that have lived here all their life. Winter Park, you find someone that was born in Colorado even. Few and far between. There's a lot of us that imported in and came from somewhere else.
Yeah, there's several 3, 4, 5 generation ranchers over there. You bet.
And so we're trying to juggle. We got a lot of different wants and needs in this county, and you guys as commissioners do an incredible job of listening to everyone and doing your best, because you'll never win. There's always going to be someone that says, why did you pick that decision? So
that's very true. But the 3 of us really do work well together.
And you got a newest member who just started. When did Rich start with you guys?
January.
Okay, so newest as of January. You've been around for a few years, and then Merritt's been hanging out there for quite some time.
Merritt's in his 5th year. He just got reelected at the same time Rich got put into office. So that was Merritt's 2nd
And you're
term.
on the off term.
I'm on the off term with all the other elected. So your clerk, your assessor, treasurer, sheriff.
And money talks. So you guys, number one thing is to manage the money of the county and figure out what's going on where and how we best can maximize what's coming in, and then most efficiently spend what's going out.
Exactly. Benefit the most people.
And we've had some news lately. The most recent news would be we finally addressed locally short-term lodging. It's been on the docket to talk about for quite some time. A lot of cities and areas have kind of gone into the new Airbnb, VRBO world that's really taken Uber, all of them. They've taken the world by storm.
Very much so.
We're all trying to kind of handle, how best can we incorporate this into the town rather than just ban it or try and fight it, I guess you'd say.
You want to protect the neighbors, but you want to allow people the right to use their property. So if they want a short-term rental, they have that right, but you also have to find a way to protect the neighbor. We tried in, I think it was 2011, there was a registration process put in, and it just didn't really have the teeth. So there's not very many violators, I'll be honest with you.
So what is new? Like what are we doing? What's the steps that passed
The
here?
fee went up a little bit. It was a $20 registration, now it's $150.
Which is still not breaking banks, but it just is a little more cash in the bank.
It pays for the project. It pays. We hired an outside consultant to help enforce, so it pays for that. You got to go on register. Tell us how many people you're going to be in there. You got to have a contact person, 24-hour contact person that will respond within an hour, I believe it is.
It's just more accountability, honesty.
Very much so.
A lot of people hung out to dry, might be locked out, and if you're coming home at 2 in the morning and you're locked out, what happens if you have no one to call? So it's just protecting some of the tourists too.
Yeah, it is. Sure.
That's cool. And then are there any other things people have to follow within this, or is it more just register, make sure you have a 24-hour policy?
Oh, there's trash. There's several different,
so a lot of categories.
Aspects to it.
And how do you enforce this? You mentioned you have a private party coming in?
We have an outside consultant, and what they do is they'll write a letter making sure everybody that is advertising actually is registered, gets a license. And if somebody violates it, then there's a 24-hour contact. They call the number, they can take pictures, they send it in, and then we have some proof that you violated. It's a pretty stringent penalty process. The first time, we're going to do a warning. The second time there's a violation, it's a $500 fine, then it goes to a $1,000 fine for the third. and then
Strike three?
if
Oh,
it-
1,000
nope.
is strike three. Okay.
if it happens again, they appear before the Board of Commissioners.
All right.
For
And so
possibly.
So does this
revocation.
person going through VRBO, case by case, or how do you possibly try and wrangle these all in an
I have
organized
no
fashion?
idea. That's what this
That's why you
outside
contract.
company-
That's why you
bet.
contract, and you don't just hire Joe Schmo out there.
And
So.
it takes personalities out of it.
So would you say of the 150 coming in, the majority of it is spent on enforcement?
It will be, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any projected on how much revenue? I'm sure it's going to change quite a bit once knowledge gets out there, because a lot of people probably weren't registered before, I'm guessing.
We're thinking there's anywhere between 1,000 and 1,400, 1,500 maybe.
And if you're out there and you need to get registered, where do you go? What do you do?
You go onto the county website, co.gran.co.us, go into planning and zoning, and there's a link, and you can register on your smartphone.
We can do it
It's
right
real
online.
easy to find.
You don't have to drive to Hot Sulphur.
You do not drive to Hot Sulphur.
Oh, that's
Nope,
wonderful.
You can do it right out. You can pay with your credit card and
And
be
we'll
done.
flash that website on the bottom there. And,
That'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great step. So that's a big change, not change, but it's just fun to see more progress in that direction, kind of.
I think it's going to benefit both sides.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Along with that, we've also been talking transportation, a big change going on in the county here. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit on transportation, which has been a big change. We are going to hit some golf tips during the break. So I'm going to take my broken thumb and just watch these and live vicariously through JT Thompson, our golf pro out at Pole Creek Golf Club. So stick around. We'll be back in a moment.